Hey everyone, today's video is about watching out for fake turnkey providers. I'll be diving into what that means. Alright guys, so first let's start with what is a turnkey provider. So I've actually pulled it up here on my computer. In terms of turnkey real estate perspective, according to Wikipedia, something that is ready for immediate use, generally used in the sale or supply of goods or services. A turnkey property is fully occupied, little or no maintenance required, with property management in place. So what I mean by watching out for fake turnkey providers is sometimes what they'll do is they'll sell you the house not fixed up. And they'll claim it's turnkey because they're going to do the renovation for you after you purchase it. So why that first little thing there's pros and cons. You can totally do that. You can go and buy a house. We buy houses not fixed up, but we go and fix them up and sell them to you turnkey. But then that's just not a definition of turnkey. A turnkey property is fully renovated, meaning the seller, us, the turnkey provider, has taken on all the risk and has done the renovation to the fullest. And it's all done and ready to go, move-in ready with the tenant, right? In decent shape, at least ready for a tenant to move in. Hopefully even more capital expenditures taken care of on the front end. So if someone's going like, yeah, I have a turnkey property, it needs 20 grand in repairs. Well, if it needs repairs, then it's probably not in turnkey shape. So reason being is that, that there's the risk, right? So you take on the risk. If you buy it before the house is fixed up all the way, and they state, the repairs are 15 or 25K, but then all of a sudden the repairs are 25 to 35,000. Well, you already own the house. So who has the risk on that? You do. You're responsible for those extra repairs. Us, even though we've renovated 6,000 houses, we are still not perfect at estimating the rehab. Even on our own properties that we've looked at and thoroughly inspected, we're off probably half the time. We are over our budget. It's just something we're working on getting better at, but it just happens in real estate. You open up a wall, there's termites, there's flooring issues, things come up on the renovation, trees fall down, those holding costs. So number one, if they're a real turnkey provider, the house is going to be completely fixed up. How you can really go against that is you have a home inspection. Okay, so that protects you to know that the house is fixed up all the way. There you go, boom, get a home inspector, a third party out there, looking at it, checking those things, making sure it's rent ready. Second thing that I wouldn't define as that is also, you also have holding costs during that time. So last thing on selling the house, you have holding costs. So during those 3 months of renovation or longer, and who knows how long that renovation will take. Sometimes our renovation times go way over or under. So you have holding costs during that whole time, and you're not collecting rent while it's vacant, while it's being renovated. So it's not a turnkey, it's not day one ready. So second thing is that no tenant lined up. Okay, so I wouldn't define it turnkey if it's vacant or like going to be vacant for a long time. We do still some of our properties vacant, but 90% of the time, if it is vacant, which it's rarely, it has a lease deposit. A deposit in place or already a tenant in place. Because it's turnkey, it's just ready to go, tenant in place. Okay, reason being is that anyone can say the rent is going to be $900 a month or $1,050 a month, whatever it is. But you really know it's $900 a month when there's a lease signing, I will pay $900 a month. And I've actually put down a deposit of $900 a month to pay that, right? So, I would say lastly, some turnkey providers do sell it. We do sometimes 5, 10, sometimes 30% of the time. We do sell it vacant, but if it is vacant, I would just watch out and be like, well, how can you really guarantee that rent? How do I know that rent you quote me, right? Because a lot of your returns are based off that will be that rent. So what I would say is if it is going to be vacant, I would probably consider asking them or thinking about either some really good comps, some really good rent comps, or they guarantee. So we guarantee our rent. Our guarantee is that if we put 900 on our pro forma and stated that, we're putting our money where our mouth is, and we only get it rented for 800 or 850, which by scenario, that rarely happens. But if it does, we go ahead and fork over the difference of a year. So we'd fork you over $600 or $1,200 in these cases. That probably really has rarely ever happened. But you know, sometimes we're a little bit off. $875, we'd fork over $300. Okay. Also, if it doesn't rent in 3 months, we'll start paying your rent. We'll pay you that rent, and we'll be your tenant until we find you a tenant. Reason being, because we care about you, because we want to put our money where our mouth is. There's other fake guys out there who won't put that behind them. Okay, another thing to watch out for is property management. So here's what some fake turnkey providers do. Yeah, property management is in place. Well, do you own that property management company? Do you have accountability with them? Do you have a stake in that? Do you have any sort of leverage over that property management company? Because let's say, you know, some guys will just go and fix up a house and sell it turnkey and then just go, oh yeah, here's some other random property management company that probably they get a fee, right? They probably get a little fee for sending management to them, number one, like $200 to $600 sometimes as a referral fee. So if they refer, they're probably getting a fee for sending you over as a management client. Also, there's just no accountability, right? Because you know, 3 months later there could be an issue and this different property management company is managing it, not the turnkey provider who fixed it up. And they can go, oh, there's an issue on the house, a repair or something. Oh, well, that's the property management's fault. The tenant wasn't screened. So we back it by, hey, we're still managing it throughout this renovation and we guarantee our rent for a year. So that'd be the other thing, renovations. Do they back what they're renovating? Are they allowing you to get a home inspection, okay? Real important. If they're saying, no, you can't have a home inspection, it's already in good shape, just trust us, here's pictures. I don't know, that just sounds a little sketchy to me. Yet again on the fake turnkey providers. So yeah, they're not doing that. So you're taking on all that risk. Okay, I wrote down some other notes here. You know, then fully, so you really want to vet this. Like I technically wouldn't really consider you a turnkey provider if they don't own the property management company, have a real big stake in it or something, because it just reduces that accountability. Then also they back the renovations. So if some people are like, hey, here's a turnkey property, you buy it and you fix it up and all that, well, you're the one on the liability. If you buy it before it's fixed up, you have the risk of the repairs, of them going over, you have the risk of the holding costs, you have the risk of not finding a tenant for even longer and getting that rent quoted because they're like, well, it's yours, it's not my fault now. Where if you buy it turnkey from us, these are pretty much more likely, actually very highly likely, or already occurring because all these things have been done. And it just really aligns all of our interests and all that. So anyways, those are some things to watch out for some fake turnkey providers. I would not call it turnkey if it's not according to these three things, okay? So just something to look out for, guys. Watch out for those phony guys. Oh yeah, sorry, one more, is they don't own the property. Okay, they're called affiliates. So there's actually some guys out there that are just affiliate marketers. So all they're doing is like, yeah, hey, I got turnkey properties all over the country, but all they do is have a turnkey provider in each little different market, and all they do is go, hi, Mr. Turnkey Buyer. Oh, let me introduce you to Joe Schmo in Kansas City, whoever in Memphis, whoever in Little Rock, whoever in Cleveland, Ohio. And all they're doing is just sending you as a referral, kind of like this. They're getting a referral fee. And then they're just collecting money. They're not true turnkey providers. They don't have title on the property. So what they are is just listing agents, right? In kind of a sense. So I mean, you want to be direct to the provider. You want to be direct to the people that have the title, who are taking on the risk of all these things. It just creates a better bond. There's no third party in the middle of all this to blame, right? If an affiliate refers a turnkey provider and then something's wrong with that property, well, who's to blame? Is it the affiliate or the turnkey provider? And then the affiliate's just going to blame the turnkey provider. The turnkey provider is just going to blame the affiliate or the property management company. See how when it's all wrapped under one roof and it's all just accountable in a straight line from this person, and the turnkey provider's taking on all the risk, making sure it's as good and as ready up front. it just kind of aligns more interest there. So anyways, there are people out there, and there have been people who I've heard of people getting hosed where they're like, yeah, well, it's a turnkey property, it's ready to go, and they buy it, it's not fixed up. They didn't get a home inspection, the repairs weren't done, or they guaranteed that the repairs would be done in a certain time, but they never did get done. So that's been happening out there. That's why I think if you really are going for that full turnkey, if you kind of want to mitigate your risk a little more, I would go with this. You might be able to, and there's nothing wrong also buying a house that's non-turnkey, fixing it up yourself, doing all that work yourself, taking on all this risk. Go and do it. You might get a better equity. Just saying these are the things to consider on both ends. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one.